Welcome to part 2 of Chord Basics. So we're going to progress now. You've got your index finger hanging to do some chords. So first let's recap what we covered. We covered the notation for the fingers on the left hand so that we were concentrating on using different fingers to play the same chord. So playing an E with a different finger than you traditionally will naturally move into. And then we looked at particularly the E shape and A minor shape using fingers 2, 3 and 4. So that's pretty well what we covered last time. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at the notes on the E bass string. This is important stuff to learn. And then we're going to play some E-shaped bar chords on different frets, particularly F, A, C and G. That will all make sense later on, but let's have a look immediately at the notes on the E string. So the open note on the E string, which is E, is on the nut, the very first position without putting your finger on any fret. That would be an E. Now it's 12 frets up, you'll get another E, which will be what we call an octave. So that's 8 notes, so including the semis and the full notes. We'll worry about how octaves are built at some other stage, not important here. But it is important to learn the notes and the positions. So the very first fret is the note F, the second fret is F sharp, and then up to G, and so on and so forth until you hit the E. So these are going to be the root notes of our E-shaped bar chords. So for example, if I went to the 5th fret, the bar across there will give me the root of what's going to become an A bar chord. So we match where we put our finger with what chord we want to play. So that's what's going to happen. As usual, I'll be demonstrating this. Alright, so let's have a look at the very first thing. I've given you a different notation here as well. You'll notice how I've written how you play it. 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. That's a good notation to put down to tell someone what chord you're going to be playing and whereabouts on the fretboard you're going to be playing it with 6 numbers. It gets a little trickier as the numbers get higher, but we'll worry about that later. So if I've got my bar shown as I've got in 2 different diagrams there on the screen for you, I've got the F shape, which is how a bar shape would be in a typical fretboard diagram, and then I've written that out for you in a different way. So you've got a few different ways of looking at this. So really what this chord is using what we learned before, playing the E shape with 3 fingers, and I'll demonstrate this on a full screen shortly. We put a bar across on the 1st fret and we play the chord. And that becomes an F chord because we've raised the E up by 1 semitone to make it an F. Now, you're going to have difficulty immediately playing the bar. So sometimes you might get some muting. What really is difficult to concentrate on with bar chords is getting that down nice and neatly. You shouldn't have to press too hard, but what you need to do is put pressure in the middle of the fret so you get a clear note in there. We'll have a look at how to do that and some techniques, and I will demonstrate later on with a different guitar, so you don't think that it's easy because I'm doing this on a classical nylon string guitar. I'll demonstrate it at another point using, for example, a 12-string steel string guitar and still getting a nice clean sound out of that. So it's nothing to do with my guitar, it's all about technique. And that's the stuff that I'd really like you to work on, and you'll get good satisfaction out of that. Alright, so there's what we're going to do with the F chord. Let's move along and have a look. So we play an A chord. So this time you'll notice that I've put the 1s where the index finger goes across the 5th fret. So that's where that goes, and then we play that shape with our 2, 4, 3 fingers. And now we've raised the E shape up 5 semitones to make it an A shape. And it's all based on that. I'll just drop back to those numbers on there. So as you can see there, fret number 5 will give you note A. fret number 7 will give you note B, fret number 8 will give you the note C. So they're the things that you really need to put time and effort into learning, and we need to start moving between those things fairly quickly. Alright, one more little thing here. What we're going to do for this exercise is we're going to just concentrate on these frets, fret 1, 3, 5 and 8, which are going to give us the chords F, G, A and C. Alright, let me drop out of this and demonstrate that to you quickly. So first thing is putting the bar across. That's the index finger. I hold it down with enough pressure so I should be able to get the notes playing through, and even if I do that up on the 5th fret. So practice that a lot. Try and get some clean sound out of it. It might take you a while to do, but if you've been playing guitar for a while, you'll get this fairly quickly. So now we're going to put our fingers where we learnt this previously. We've learnt this is the E shape that we're playing there, and we went up and played on the previous examples in part 1. We played that up on the 6th fret. Now we're going to put the bar on. So we put the bar on and play it on F. We're going to put the bar, slide that whole thing up to the 3rd fret. There's G, slide it up to the 5th fret. There's A, and then we'll slide up to the 8th fret and play C. So they're the frets, and I want you to go between each of those. Practice as much as you can to get C, A, G and F. Maybe switch it around a bit, go from F to A to G to C. Say the notes while you're doing them. It will make it a lot easier. C is on the 8th fret, A is on the 5th fret, G is on the 3rd fret, F is on the 1st fret. So if we go from F to C to G to A. So what I'd like you to do is practice that, repeating as you go along. Do it bit by bit. Try and get a clean sound out of it. It may take you a while to do that, but it's absolutely worthwhile doing. So the things that are absolutely worthwhile here is learning those notes, particularly F, G, A, C. That will be invaluable information, and playing those bar chords cleanly in those positions. Good luck with practicing that. Once you've practiced that a fair bit, we'll move on to working out how we can do a song with that. Thank you.